Imagine waking up to 5 new appointments in your calendar, all booked by your voice AI agent while you were sleeping. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to build that system step by step, so you can focus more on closing deals instead of chasing leads.
Let's start with what a voice AI agent actually is. Think of it like a digital ISA, an inside sales agent that never sleeps, never forgets a follow-up, and can handle hundreds of calls at once. It listens, talks naturally, understands objections, and updates your CRM, all automatically. Here's what that means for you. More consistent follow-ups, faster lead qualification, more booked appointments, and more time to focus on closing deals. To build this, we'll be using VAPI.ai for the actual voice agent, Make.com to automate workflows and handle call outcomes, Airtable as a lightweight database to store leads and call results, HubSpot CRM to feed qualified leads into your pipeline. These tools integrate beautifully, and I'll show you exactly how.
So let's get into it. You can see here the screen, it's VAPI.io. If you don't have an account, then you would sign up here. You can sign up for free to start testing it out. I actually have an account, so I will click on open the dashboard. So I have this assistant called Lexi right here, and that's the one we'll be talking about. If you won't have an assistant if you just come into this brand new. So what you'll do is you'll create assistant by going to right here. And then you'll have to get a phone number as well. So you'll go to phone numbers, click right here. You can get a free VAPI phone number, get one in your area code. Once you get the phone number, you assign the phone number to the assistant, which I've already done here. So let's look through a little bit of the VAPI setup. So again, I've called my assistant Lexi, and we're just going to scroll through here. So here's your model. I'm using the OpenAI provider and the GPT-4o cluster. I feel like that's the best one. It's the least expensive, or not the least expensive, but it's the one that works. That is the least expensive. I tried using this GPT-4o mini cluster. It didn't work as well, so I changed to this one here, which is 4 cents versus 1 cent. But you can play around with it and see what makes most sense for you. Again, I chose this one here, so it's the 4 cents per minute. So what you'll see here, the first message mode, the assistant speaks with a modal generated message. So I have within my prompt, I'll tell it what to say. You can put a first message here. Here's my system prompt. So I provide a role, start of call parameters, core tasks, those type of things. So the role is, you are Lexi, Randy Mart's real estate business digital assistant, working for Southern Utah Living. You specialize in managing real estate inquiries and booking appointments with Randy. You will maintain a warm conversation flow while ensuring efficient scheduling and client satisfaction. So you go through and you define your prompt, which is more of an art than it is anything else. I'll provide the prompt in my description, so you can copy it if you want. I'm just going to scroll through here. Voice configuration. I've picked an 11 Labs provider for the voice, which I think they do a good job. So that's what I provided or picked for a voice. You can have, let's see what's in the additional configuration. Background sound, so you can have it have background sound kind of like they're in like a call center. I've turned that off. I think that sometimes when when Lexi calls out, people will hang up just because they can tell that it's like a robo type call. So I've turned that off. You can copy my settings here for stability, clarity, speed, style exaggeration. I've kind of played with these, and these are kind of what I've set at. You can have the call transcribed. I just leave all these as defaults for the transcriber. I've created some tools for this, and we'll talk about that in a minute. You've got I've got a knowledge base, and then a book calendar tool and a chat calendar tool. So when someone says, I'd like to book an appointment for such and such time, it'll use this tool to call out to check my calendar, and I'm using Google Calendars. So that's the function that's used, and then once the time is determined that will work, that I'm not booked for, it'll use this function to actually book my meeting into my calendar. Functions are deprecated. Actually, custom functions are. So I've got the end of call function turned on. Like I said, the custom functions are deprecated. They don't use these anymore. They use what's called tools. The tools are over here on the left-hand side. I've got a summary prompt that basically tells the AI agent, once the call is over, use this to create a summary. And you can see what I've got here. Who called, caller information, the lead type, intent summary, was it a buyer or a seller, those type of things in my prompt. And then success evaluation, I tell the AI agent how to determine whether or not the call was successful based on this criteria that I put in here. And I can share this information if you want. If people are interested, I can provide that information. I've got structured data that basically gets the name of the caller, the phone number, email address, and any specific details about the type of property that they're looking for. I have these variables that I've defined within the AI system, and it will try to identify those and put those into and then basically store that information. The information gets stored in Airtable. So let's do a demo to show you exactly how this AI agent works. So you've got here a real estate website called Southern Utah Living, and essentially one of the reasons you've got the website as a realtor is you want to basically generate leads. So someone will come to your website, they'll scroll through it. Now I've got a form down here at the bottom, and the form says, let's connect today. Ready to make your move to Southern Utah? Randy or his assistant Lexi will give you a quick call to learn more about your goal and help you get started. So let's say a person's first name, say there it's Shawn, S-H-A-W-N, Smith, and it's Shawn at gmail.com is their email address. They put in their phone number, and then we wait for a minute or two, and I'll put the time that it actually took for the call to go out.
Hi Shawn, this is Lexi with Southern Utah Living. I'm reaching out because you requested more information on our website about real estate in Southern Utah.
Yeah, I'm actually looking to potentially move down to the St. George area.
Oh, that's awesome, Shawn. St. George is such a great area. So, let's make sure we have all the details to help you out. Are you currently living out of state or moving from somewhere nearby?
Yeah, I'm actually moving from Idaho.
Got it, Idaho to St. George. That's a nice change. What's your timeline like for moving? Are you hoping to settle in a specific month or just exploring for now?
I'm getting relocated and I've got 3 months.
3 months. Sounds like a good time frame to find just the right spot. Okay, do you have a budget range in mind, and are you planning to buy with cash or finance?
I'm looking probably between the $500,000 and $700,000 range.
Perfect, Shawn. That's a solid budget for St. George. Are you already pre-approved for a loan? Or do you need help connecting with a lender?
Actually, no, I'm not pre-approved yet.
All right, no problem. Randy can definitely help guide you with that process, or connect you with a trusted lender. What kind of property are you looking for? Do you have must-haves?
Yeah, I would really like an RV garage with an RV garage with 2 additional garage spaces, and I need at least 3 bedrooms and an office, or a 4-bedroom. And that's really all I'm specific about at this point.
Okay, an RV garage, 2 additional spaces, at least 3 bedrooms and an office or 4 bedrooms. Sounds like you know exactly what you're looking for. And are you open to resale homes? or are you leaning more towards new builds?
I'm open at this point, but it might be nice to have a new build.
Gotcha. Open to options, but a new build could be a great fit. What about areas of interest? Are you particular about staying in St. George itself, or are you open to nearby spots like Washington or Hurricane?
Actually, I would be open to either Washington or Hurricane.
Great. Washington and Hurricane are lovely areas too. And in terms of lifestyle needs, do any schools, golf courses, trails, or maybe proximity to family or medical facilities stand out as important for you?
I would like to be close to some trails, and also places to drive my side-by-side.
Absolutely, being near trails and good spots for your side-by-side sounds fantastic, especially in that area. Now let's talk about setting up a time for you to chat with Randy. Do you have a preference for a specific date and time, or would you like me to check what we have open for you? Would you like the meeting to be over the phone or Google Meet? Or do you prefer Randy call you directly?
Can we just set up a time for a Google Meet?
Sure thing, Sean. Google Meet works perfectly. Do you have a day and time in mind during our Monday through Friday, 9 to -5 windows? Or should I check what's available?
Can we do tomorrow at 3 p.m.?
Oh, please hold on. Oh, it looks like the 3 p.m. slot tomorrow isn't available. Would you be okay doing 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. instead? Or should I check another day for you?
Let's do 11 a.m.
All right, Sean. You're all set for your Google Meet appointment with Randy tomorrow at 11 a.m. Is there anything else you'd like to know or talk about?
No, that's great. Thank you.
Goodbye.
If you're watching this and thinking, I'd love to have this, but I've got no time to build it, that's exactly what we do at Zaplicity AI. We design and deploy custom AI solutions to book calls, follow up with leads, answer simple questions, and sync straight into your CRM. Just head over to Zaplicity AI and schedule a free 15-minute strategy session. I'll personally walk you through what a voice AI agent can do and help you in your business. So that was the whole flow of the call. I even put in a challenge there to see if the assistant would know that I was busy tomorrow at 3, which I knew I was. And it actually handled it pretty well and got my appointment booked. So I want to show you, before we get into make.com, I want to show you the tools. I told you that we had some tools that were being used to actually check the calendar and book the calendar. So the first tool in the tools section here over on the left-hand side, if you go to tools, check calendar, I called the tool check calendar. Use this function to check the availability of the calendar. So that's the tool call. And what it does is it sends out the requested time. So the time that the person was asking for the meeting, in this case they were asking for 3 o'clock, that time gets passed from VAPI into make.com. And then the other tool that's used here is called the book calendar, and this tool is a function essentially used to book the meeting into my Google Calendar. And I have parameters like who the caller was, he provided his email, his phone number, the requested time. Those parameters get sent into the book calendar function into make.com. So let's go into make.com now, and I'll show you how the flow works. So we're here in make.com. If you don't have a login for make.com, you get started for free by clicking here or up here. You can do most of what I've done in this demo with the free account. I already have an account, so I will log in. Let me go into the Southern Utah Living Lead Generation scenario. So you can see in this scenario we have a webhook. And the webhook is basically out there listening. When a person goes on to the Southern Utah Living real estate website and they fill out the form, that form information gets put into Airtable. And I have a function, a trigger within Airtable that says anytime there's a new record that's input into this particular table, I want you to call this webhook. And so this webhook gets called when a new record is created. This Airtable lookup here basically says, find me the information in that for that particular ID that's being passed over. So it pulls up the correct record of the person that made the inquiry. And then there's a router here, and there are a lot of different options. And essentially on the real estate website, each of the forms on the different pages I've given a different source code to. So if a person puts in information and says contact me from the home page, I have an indicator that says this was the homepage form. Or if the person clicks on the link that says send me a relocation guide or an investor's guide or a for sale guide, I capture that information as the source, and so that's why you see so many different branches coming off of this router. And so what essentially happens is it takes the user's information, they put in their first and last name, email, and phone number. It takes that information. The first thing it does is it creates a record for them in HubSpot. HubSpot is my CRM, my customer relationship management system. And so that's the first thing I do is I create a record in HubSpot. So in the instance that we had with Sean, he went through and he filled out the form on the home page. So this route here shows what happens when the source comes in from that particular form on the home page. Again, information is put about the contact is put in the HubSpot. This Google Drive basically pulls an image of my email signature line. This Gmail module essentially sends an email to the person who's making the inquiry. One of the fields that I have on my form is it's a required field that they fill out their email address. So I send an email to them, and part of the email includes on the bottom my email signature with my contact information. And then this next module here is actually sending myself an email saying, hey, you had a lead come in from such and such spot on your website. And then from there, this VAPI module here is where the call is actually initiated from. So the call goes out and is initiated, and the call information is actually updated on the record of that particular user so we can reference it later. So that's what happens in this particular scenario. Quick reminder, everything that I'm showing you here is real and running for current real estate agents in Utah. If you want your own voice agent that sounds natural, books calls, and actually converts, you don't have to start from scratch. Go to Zaplicity.ai and book your assessment with me, and I'll personally walk you through how Voice IA Agent can help you in your business. So the call is going on, and it gets to a point where the Voice AI assistant is trying to book a meeting with Randy. And so it uses this next scenario here. If you remember, in VAPI, I had two tool calls. One of them was check calendar. So when that check calendar tool is called from within VAPI, what it does is it calls this webhook here, passes the requested time into this webhook, and then this flow goes from there. And this flow basically goes through, sets my business hours to make sure my appointments would only be within business hours. And then it will go through and check to see if my calendar has some busy time slots in it. If it does, it uses AI, this AI module here, going out to ChatGPT, and it says, hey, this is when Randy's busy in his calendar for the day. These are his starting and stopping working hours. Can you suggest 2 or 3 times that are available within that day? AI comes up with that, and it passes the information back to VAPI via this return webhook right here, or response return right here. So that gets sent back in to the VAPI call, and then when a good time is actually figured out with the user, then the book calendar tool call from VAPI is fired off, and that's what this is right here. So it calls this webhook, goes directly in, creates the event within my calendar. It updates some information for that particular user on in Airtable, and essentially sends the information back. And then the last scenario within make.com is the call log update. And what that does is it will, once the call is over, there's another function call, or basically an HTTP post from within VAPI that calls this particular webhook, and it basically calls it, passes it all the information about the particular call. So we have the unique call ID for VAPI. Within Airtable, we go and we look for that to match it up with the correct record in Airtable, and from there, essentially what happens is, if there was in fact a call, that's what this router does. If there isn't a call, it just goes into creating an Airtable record. But if there was, it's matched up, then that information is updated within HubSpot, and the note is created in HubSpot as well that shows, or it gives a summary of the call. And that's essentially what make.com does kind of behind the scenes, and kind of this is what's controlling the flow of the whole call. Okay, so this is HubSpot. This is my CRM, my customer relationship manager software. Again, you can use HubSpot for free. You can do a lot with the free version. I actually have a paid version, so I will sign in. Okay, so you can see that Sean Smith was added to my CRM. I have it sorted by the latest people being added at the very top. So if I click on Sean, it shows me here's the name, here's the email address, phone number, when it was created, the lead source. Here you can see SUL homepage, so that means that this lead was created based on that form information that was filled out by the user on the Southern Utah Living website. You can see here that a note was created on this particular date and time. If I click on it, it says Sean, a relocation buyer from Idaho, is looking to move to St. George area. So you can see the whole summary of the call is put right into my CRM here, so I can see exactly what happened. If there are multiple calls, I would get multiple notes here that give me the whole detail of a particular call. Before we dive into the next step, if this video has given you ideas and you want to see just how AI could help you in your business, feel free to reach out to me at ZaplicityAI.com. You can book an assessment with me and we can discuss your needs. My team at Zaplicity AI can audit your workflows and show you how much time and money you could actually save each month. So now I'm in Airtable, and Airtable is a database system used to temporarily store data. It doesn't even need to be temporary, but it's a place to store data that's gathered from the VAPI call and from forms and those type of things. So if you don't have a login for Airtable, you can sign up for free. You can do most everything you need to without having to pay, at least initially. So sign up for free. I already have a login, so I will log in to Airtable. So within Airtable, I have a number of different bases. Let's go into this one base here called SUL_leads, Southern Utah Living _leads. And in that base, I just have one record. This record is a record of the person that called, Sean Smith. So you can see his first name, last name, email, phone number, and then information about the source. So that person, Sean, filled out a form on the Southern Utah Living website on the homepage, and so that information is captured here, so I know where the lead came from. I know that the source also was a Southern Utah Living outbound call, so the agent called Sean. The transcript, so the full transcript of the call I've stored here. Then the call summary. This is the full summary of the call. So it says Sean, a relocation buyer from Idaho, is looking to move to the St. George area the next 3 months. He's interested in properties between $500,000 and $700,000, requiring an RV garage with 2 additional spaces and at least 3 bedrooms, plus an office, or 4 bedrooms. He is open to both resale and new builds and would consider Washington or Hurricane, with a preference for being close to trails and side-by-side riding areas. Sean is not yet pre-approved for a loan. An appointment has been booked for Sean to have Google Meet with Randy Mart tomorrow at 11 a.m. So that's the summary that AI put together of our call, the duration, the scheduled time event. So the Google Meet was scheduled for 11 a.m. the next day. The phone number, person's name, that information there. So that is Airtable. So as all real estate agents know, speed to lead is really, really important. If you can have your AI agent call 30 seconds to a minute to 2 minutes after they make an inquiry on your website and gather all that information and feed that all to you, it's really, really valuable. So if you're ready to put AI to work for you in your real estate business and want a done-for-you solution, reach out to me or go to my website at Zaplicity.ai.com and schedule a call, and we can discuss how I can help you with your AI voice agent. We'll help you design a voice agent tailored to your brand, scripts, and CRM, so you can generate more good leads, more conversations, and more commissions. That's really what it's all about. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell for more videos like these.